Okay, so in today's class, we are going to discuss about free fall and about relative velocity. Okay, uh, and in subsequent classes, we will discuss about graph and we will discuss some more about relative motion and how we can use relative motion to solve really difficult questions that we are going to do. And also we are going to solve many variety of problems which will help you understand the concept better and master the chapter. So let's start. So what is free fall? So when something falls in air, if a ball or something which is falling in air, we will neglect the effects of air, means the friction, air friction or something. We will neglect that. And if something falls in air, then that body has a constant acceleration that is represented by g. Okay, it accelerates with a constant acceleration and that is represented by g, and it is taken as 9.8 meter per second square or 10 meter per second square. You can approximately take it 10. And so this is the concept. And you must be knowing about a story where if you throw two bodies, like a heavy one and a lighter one, from a height, then both of them will reach the ground at the same time. Okay, it might, you might think that the heavy one will reach earlier, but this is not the case, because we have already studied the equations of motion. If the height is same and the acceleration, we can calculate that both the bodies have the same acceleration. Okay, so it will be g, and if height is h, so by applying the equations of motion, we can know that both the bodies, means s equal to ut plus half at square, if h equal to u equal to 0, so equal to half g t square, that is the time. So from here you can calculate that both the bodies will reach the ground at the same time. Okay, the the thing that what you think that it will reach, the heavier body will reach earlier, this is a wrong concept. Both the bodies will reach the same time, because they both accelerate at a constant acceleration. Okay, there is some variations in the value of g, that is the acceleration when you go very up, like so that we will discuss in the gravitation chapter. So for this chapter, g is constant and it is equal to 9.8 or 10. Take it 10. If it is told that you take 9.8, then take 9.8, because it is very easy to calculate with g equal to 10. So let's so this is all whole concept of free fall. And the equations of motion are the same, only you replace a with g, like s equal to ut plus half at square, you will write s equal to ut plus half gt square. Okay, so a, replace a with g, because g is the acceleration under gravity. So this is the whole concept. So what happens, when one thing you have to remember here, this thing, this diagram I'm drawing, you have to remember it. So if I'm throwing a ball from here, okay, with the initial velocity of u, you must have played with balls and you must have seen that what the ball does is that it goes up and it reaches a maximum height. It cannot go like to infinite height. It reaches a maximum height. Let's say this is h, and it stops there. Okay, here the velocity becomes 0. Okay, so you have to remember, you know this already, that when you throw something, it will reach a maximum height and then it will stop. Then what will happen? It will again, it will again move downwards. Okay, and it will reach the ground. It, the velocity will be same, like, but the direction will be opposite. Like this is also u, means the magnitude is u. Means if you throw a ball with 5 meter per second upwards like this, then when the ball will come down, then it will hit your hand with the same velocity, that is 5 meter per second. Okay, only the direction will be changed. Like first it is upward, obviously, and when it will hit the ground, it will be in the downward direction. Simple. So only the direction of velocity will change, but the magnitude of velocity will be same. With same speed, it will hit your hand. With what speed you have thrown it upwards, that with that speed it will hit your hand. Okay, so this is the concept. You can find that if this velocity is also u, means this magnitude is also u, by using the equations of motion. Okay, h u like that, g is down in the downward direction, so you can prove this also. Okay, so let us not go deeper into it. So what is this maximum height? Okay, this thing you have to remember, what is the value of h. We have to calculate h in the terms of g and u. Okay, so see, the at the maximum height, the velocity is 0. Okay, so b square equal to u square minus 2gh. Why I have written minus? Because see, if the upward direction I take as positive, this is my consideration, and the downward direction is negative. Okay, in physics we have to always specify the directions. If the upward direction is positive, then the final velocity is 0 and initial velocity is u. So v square equal to u square, and value of g is in the negative direction. See, g is in the downward direction and u is in the upward direction. This initial velocity is upward. So I have written u square, and g is in the downward direction. That's why I have written minus g, that is minus 10. Okay, so by simplifying it, we will get u square equal to 2gh and h equal to u square by 2g. So this is the thing you have to remember. Whenever you throw something upwards, the maximum height that it will reach is u square by 2g. Okay, so this is the maximum height that a body will reach. So what is the time duration? That means what is the time it will take to reach the maximum height? This is, you have to remember. Okay, I am writing here. This in your notes, just write it and just remember it, because it will be used while solving questions. So what is the time it will take to reach the maximum height? So we know the equation of motion. At the maximum height, the velocity is 0. So we will write v equal to u plus at. V equal to u plus at. So here v is 0. You have to put all this equations of motion that we had discussed earlier, that s equal to ut plus half v square, v equal to u plus at, v square equal to u square plus 2as. This all equations you have to use the sign as well as the means along with the magnitude. Okay, don't write just 10 or 50, because this is physics. You have to write the sign, because you have to specify the direction along with the magnitude. That is a vector quantity, means all velocity is a vector quantity. It has a direction and a magnitude. So you have to specify the direction. If you don't specify the direction, your answer will be wrong. So I have taken the upward direction as positive and downward as negative. So v is 0, u is u because it is up in the upward direction, so it is positive, and v equal to u plus at. So here the a will be minus g, minus of g, okay, into t. Okay, so v0 equal to u minus gt. So t is u by g. Okay, so this is the time it takes to move upwards, means to the maximum height. Okay, the ball will take u by g time to go to the maximum height. So what will be the time to come down again to the ground? So again we will apply the same formula. So here v equal to u plus at. So here v is in the, when it is coming down, v is minus u. Okay, because the final velocity is in the downward direction and the magnitude is same, that is u, but it is in the downward direction. So I will write minus u. V equal to u is 0 because up from the maximum height we are calculating the time. So v equal to u, and it will be minus gt because g is obviously in the downward direction and downward is negative. So two negatives it will cancel and t will be equal to u by g. So whatever time it will take to move upwards to the maximum height, that is the amount of time it will take to move downwards to the ground. Okay, so what is the total time in which it was in the air? What is the total time? So we will add u by g plus u by g is 2u by g. So that is known as time of flight. Okay, so it is written as time of flight. That is equal to 2u by g. Okay, so this you have to also remember. Time of flight is 2u by g. Remember it. Okay, always. So maximum height is equal to u square by 2g. Time of flight will be 2u by g. Simple. Okay, and remember this diagram. It will be easy for you to solve the question. So let's move to our first question. So a ball is thrown up from the ground and reaches a maximum height of 20 meter. Okay, so I am not writing the question. What you have to do, as soon as you read this question that a ball is thrown upward from the ground and reaches a maximum height of 20, you have to first draw the ground like this. First draw the ground. This is the ball. It We don't know what is the initial velocity, and we have to just draw a dotted line like this, that it is coming down, and you have to write it is 20 meter, it is given. So like this you have to represent all the questions. If you diagrammatically represent the questions, then it will be very easy for you to solve the question. And g is in the downward direction, it is 10 meter per second square I have taken. Okay, I have not taken 9.8, I have taken 10. So what is the question? The first question is, find the initial velocity. Okay, this is the first question. The second question is the time taken to reach the maximum height. Time to reach max height. Okay. So the third question is velocity just before hitting the ground. Sorry. Velocity just hitting. Okay. And the next question is time at which it is 15 meter above the ground. Okay. Time at which 15 meter above the ground. Okay. So we will proceed to the answer. So you may pause the video and solve this question. It's a very easy question, formula based. Okay. So the first bit, the initial velocity. So we know that the maximum height is 20. Okay. So what is the formula for maximum height? It is u square by 2g. Okay, maximum height is equal to u square by 2g. So we are given that u square by 2g equal to 20 meter. So we can easily find u because we know the value of g. So u square equal to 20, u square by 20, it's g is 10, is equal to 20. So u equal to 20 meter per second. Okay. So we have got that u equal to 20 meter per second. Time taken to reach the maximum height. Okay, so the time taken to reach the maximum height is u by g. Total time of flight is 2u by g. This whole time it will take to go up and then go down. And the time taken to reach the maximum height is u by g. Okay, so the next question. Okay, the time taken to reach the maximum height is u by g is equal to, we have already calculated u, which is 20, by g is equal to 2 seconds. Okay, it will take 2 seconds to reach the maximum height. And what is the C? Question number C. Velocity just before hitting the ground. This is simple because we have already calculated u, that is 20 meter per second. So it will hit the ground with the same velocity in the opposite direction, 20 meter per second. Simple. So you can write minus 20 also. Okay. So what is the last bit? The time at which it is 15 meter above the ground. Okay. So this is a very interesting question. So what we have done is that we have thrown the ball upwards. It will go reach the maximum height, then go down and reach the ground. Okay. The maximum height is 20 meters, and this is the height 15 meter. You can see that it will reach this height of 15 meter at two times. It will reach 15-meter height at two times. First, while going upward. First, while going upward, it will reach 15 meter, then it will go to 20 meter maximum height. And then from maximum height, when it is going downwards, it will reach the again 15 meter, and then it will go down to the ground level. Okay, so two times it is reaching the height of 15 meter. So uh, if it is reaching the height of 2 meters, two times, so let us see this in the form of equation. Okay, this thing we already know, we know it intuitively that okay, this is the thing going on, but mathematically also this same thing we can see. Okay, so how we will apply the equation of motion? So the displacement is 15 plus 15 in the upward direction. Okay, it is going above direction is positive. I have chosen that above direction is positive, below is negative. Most of the time people do it, but also you can do the opposite. But doing the opposite you will get a lot of negatives. So it's better to do it. So upward direction is positive and downward direction is negative. So S equal to ut plus half it square. This equation I will apply. So S is 15 meter because it is 15 meter in the upward direction, the displacement. So it is 15 equal S equal to ut. U is 20, 20 in the upward direction because I will assume that from the beginning I am seeing that it is in the it is moving upwards with 20 meter per second. So what will be the time when it reaches 15 meter? So I have written that it is 15. I know that it is 20 meter in the upward direction, so I have written plus 20 ut. G will be in the negative direction, so it will be minus, because G is minus 10, half G t square. Okay, so this is the thing I did. Means I assume that I am throwing the ball from the ground with 20 meter per second upwards, and I know that the displacement is 15 meter. That is, I'm asked that at what time it will reach 15 meter, and I have just simply written the equation. Okay, so this is very easy. So from here we will see that what we had seen actually happening to the ball, that we will see in an equation, in mathematical equations. That is why physics is very interesting. So 15 is equal to 20t minus 5t square. So 5t square minus 20t plus 15 equal to 0. Okay, so I am dividing the whole equation by 5. T square minus 4t plus 3 equal to 0. Okay, so this is t square minus 4t plus 3 equal to 0. So how to solve this question? If you know quadratic equations, then you can easily solve this question. Even if you don't know, then just watch how I am solving it. And similarly, you can solve the rest of the questions. So this is t square. You have to split minus 4t into two parts. It is minus 3t and minus t. Okay. So I will write t square minus 3t minus t plus 3 equal to 0. Now I will take t common from this part. So it will be t into t minus 3. Okay. And I will take minus common from this part. So minus 1 I will take common. So it will be t minus 3. Okay. Equal to 0. So what we have got? So what we have got? So I am just writing the last equation. T into t minus 3 minus 1 into t minus 3 is equal to 0. So from this whole equation, I'll take t minus 3 common. Okay. So t minus 3 common, it is, so if I take t minus 3 common, what will remain? T will remain and minus 1 will remain. So it will be t minus 1. Okay. Equal to 0. Now we have two factors that is equal to 0. That means that either t minus 3 equal to 0 or t minus 1 equal to 0. So what will be our answer? T equal to 3 and t equal to 1. Both these answers are possible. So already we saw how it is possible because we had calculated that the time to reach the maximum height is 2 seconds. That means at 1 second, t equal to 1 second, it is first reaching 15 meter. Then it is going upwards and for 2 seconds, total time is 2 seconds now. For at 1 second it reached 15 meter, then it is going upward, and at 3 second it is again reaching the height of 15 meter. So it is a very interesting question. Okay, so let's move to the next question. It is a little bit higher level because you have already solved the easy question. So a ball is thrown upward with an initial velocity of 12 meter per second from a rooftop roof 40 meter height, roof of 40 meter height. Okay, so immediately we have to draw the situation that it is a roof of 40 meter height. A ball is thrown upwards with a velocity of 12 meter per second. Okay, find its velocity on hitting the ground. What is its velocity? First I will write it. First question is velocity on hitting the ground. Then the next question, time of flight. Third question, maximum height. Time to return to the roof level. Time to return to roof level. Time in which it is 15 meter below the rooftop. Fifth question is time 15 meter below rooftop. So these are the 5 bits of this question. So please pause the video and think what is the solution. Take your time, take as much time as you want, but think how to solve this question. Okay? Okay? So the solution is, so the first question is its velocity on hitting the ground. So this is our situation. This is our situation that there is a building 40-meter height and we are throwing a ball with velocity 12 meter per second. So if we know that after going to the maximum, what will be the journey of the this ball? First it will go to the maximum height, then it will again return to this height. Okay, and it will have 12 meter per second. This is just means the whole thing I have done in the ground. The same thing will happen on the rooftop also. The ball will go up, then it will go to the same height as the rooftop. Then it will go below the below the roof of the building. It will start moving downwards. Okay, simple. So we know that this is G is 10. So this is 40-meter height. We have asked that what is the velocity at the ground. So this is the final velocity V. So what is the final velocity V? So we can write V square minus U square. This is U. Here what I am doing in this question, I will take the downward direction as positive for this bit only. This not for this question. This bit first bit, because see the G is in the downward direction, that is 10. This velocity I have find here this V, so I know the initial velocity is also in the downward direction, that is 12. Final velocity is also in the downward direction, that is V. And this is 40 already in the downward direction. So this is the displacement just. So if I take the downward direction as positive, then it will be very easy for me to solve the question. Okay. So for this question, I am going to take, because most of the things are in the downward direction. So here I am going to take the downward direction as positive. Sorry, yes, positive, and the upward as negative. So downward, if downward is positive, v square equal to v square minus u square. So u will be positive, it is 144, 12 square, because it is in the downward direction and I have taken the downward direction as positive. V square minus u square equal to 2 into a into s. This g also is in the downward direction and here it is positive. So it will be 10, only 10, not minus 10. V square minus equal to 2as. S is 40 meter. Okay. So from here we will calculate v square equal to 144 plus this is 800. Okay. So v square equal to 944. Okay. So v equal to square root of 944. If you have a calculator, then calculate the value of square root of 944. It will come around 30 point something. Okay. Okay. It will be around 30 something. Okay. So this is the final velocity and it is in the downward direction. Okay. So this is the way you are going to solve the questions. You can assume, in the first lecture I have told you that you can assume any direction as positive and any direction as negative. So as you can see that in this question, I assumed that the downward direction is positive because it was easier for me to solve the question. That is what I was telling in the first lecture, that the direction, that is positive and negative, are in your control. Whatever you choose for that question, that is your sign convention. Okay. So here I have shown you why I was telling that. Okay. So let's move to the next question, next bit. So what is the next bit? The time of flight. Okay. So here, see that the ball is at a height of 40 meter. It is thrown upwards with a speed of 12 meter per second. Then it is going upwards and reaching the ground level. So we have to calculate the whole time, that it goes up, reaches the maximum height and hits the ground level, not the rooftop, the ground level. Okay, so we have to calculate the whole thing. So there are two different ways of solving this question. Okay, there are two different ways of solving this question. First is to split the question into two parts. Like, first the ball will go up, then it will go down. So it will come to the rooftop, means the level of the rooftop. So from that we can calculate from the time of flight, that is 2u by g. So it will be 24 by 10. So it will be 2.4 something. Okay, so it will come, then it will move, it will hit the rooftop with 12 meter per second speed in the downward direction. Then we will apply s equal to ut plus half at square. Like as u is 12, displacement is 40, since in the downward direction it is 40, s equal to ut plus half at square. From there we will calculate the t time. The two times will come, and I think in that way of solving the question, I think that one time will be negative, and you have to uh, ignore that because time cannot be negative. Okay, in that method of solving question, so you will solve the question like that, and you will add those times. Okay, the total time for journey up to the roof level, then downwards. So this is one method, but this method is little lengthy. Okay, it will take a lot of time to solve the question in this method. So I am going to discuss a very short method of solving this question, from which you can easily get the answer. So what I am going to do is that I am going to use sign convention, which I have already taught you. So uh, th- this is 40 meter. From here I'm throwing the ball 12 meter per second. This is g is 10 meter per second. Now I am going to take this roof level, as the origin. Okay, this is 0. This is our origin. Recall how I was showing you the origin and then I was showing this 5 meter away from the origin in the means initial lectures. Okay, like that I am doing here. This is the origin. Now I have taken the upward direction as positive and the downward direction as negative. Okay. Now I will apply the equation s equal to ut plus half at square. Okay. So how I am going to apply that? Now s is the displacement. So you can see that finally the ball will be here with some velocity. So you can see that this 40 meter is below the origin. Means I have taken rooftop as the origin. So finally the ball is 40 meter below the origin. Okay. That means the displacement is negative. Means it is below the origin. If something is, I have told you how it is, the left side is negative. So if the final position is some 5 meter left, so the displacement is minus 5. But it is 5 meter right, so it is plus 5. Similarly, we can do for up and down direction. It is 5 meter upwards, then it is positive. If it is 5 meter downwards, it is negative. So I have taken the downward direction as positive, negative. So it is 40 meter downward. That means the displacement is here minus 40. Okay. I hope you understood why I have written minus 40. So S equal to ut. U is 12 meter in the upward direction. So ut minus half in gt square, because 10 is in the downward direction. It is negative. Half g t square. Okay. Hope you could understand this question. Okay, this equation. So what I have done, I have used a smart trick, that I have seen the whole journey as this is the initial position, this is the final position. That is the beauty of physics actually, this equations of motion, because I'm not, means I don't care about what the ball has done. What I have seen is that initially it was 40 meter above the origin, means it was at the origin, sorry, it was at the origin, and it had a velocity of 12 meter per second up in the upward direction. Finally, what I know that it was 40 meter below the origin, and I have chosen the origin as the roof level. This is my choice. Okay, you can also choose the origin as the ground level. Then you have to do a lot of calculation because initial it will be 40 meter above the origin, and so I have chosen the origin as the roof level only. So sorted. Uh, so so I have taken the origin and it is 40 meter below the origin. So it is what I've seen that it is finally 40 meter below the origin with a velocity of I don't know what. So this is what I know. From this information only, I have written this equation. Nothing to do about what the ball was in the highest position or anything. Okay. So this is the equation. So let's solve it. Minus 40 equal to 12t minus 5t square. Okay. So putting is this side, 5t square minus 12t minus 40 equal to 0. Okay. So for solving this question, this equation, you need to know a basic thing of quadratic equation. If you don't know the quadratic equation, so let me tell you, if ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0. If this is an equation given, just remember it what I am telling. If this is an equation given, then the solution of this equation is, means what will be the value of x? The solution is minus b plus minus root over of b square minus 4ac by 2a. Okay, just remember that if any equation is in the form of ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0, then the solution, the value of x for this equation is minus b plus minus root over b square minus 4ac by 2a. Okay, this is a lengthy formula, but as I have remembered, you will also remember it after you do quadratic equations. So applying the same thing here, so minus b will be 12 plus minus root over of b square is 12 square. Here b is 12, this is b. Minus 12 is b. Okay, b square minus 4ac. A is 5, c is minus 40. So it will be plus, means minus of minus 40 into 5 into 4, 4ac by 2a is 5 into 2, that is 10. Okay. So it will be 12 plus minus this whole thing after solving it will come 944, where the root of 944 by 10. Okay. So there is a very interesting thing here. So our answer is coming, we are getting two answers, that is 12 plus minus root of 944 by 10. Now 944 is means closer to, it's just greater than 900, and the root of 900 is 30. Okay, so this root of 944 will be obviously greater than 30. This we can know. And if it is greater than 30, and if I subtract it from 12, that is 12 minus something 30 or something, then it will come a negative number. And we are asked the time of flight, and time can never be negative. So I am going to means not take the value that is negative. So what is the value? It is, I will simply tell the time of flight is 12 plus root 944 by 2a, that is 10. Okay, not minus, because time cannot be negative. So this is my final answer. If you have a calculator, then just calculate what is the root of 9, exact root of 944, add it to 12 and divide by 10. Okay, simple. So maximum height time to so we have to find time in which it was 15 meter below the rooftop. Okay. Um, Time of flight. There is maximum height also we have to calculate it. So we are only in the bit. So we have to calculate the third bit is maximum height. It is very easy. For it is we know that it is 40 meter. It is 12. So what will be the maximum height from here? It will be from here. This is the origin. So it will be u square by 2g. So it will be 12 square by 2 into g is 10. So 144 by 2 into 10. So it will be 7.2. Okay. So this value will be 7.2. And we will add it to 40. Okay. Because here it is, if this is the maximum height, it is 7.2. So from the ground level we have to tell the height. Okay. So the maximum height is 47.2. I have added it to 40. So this is the maximum height. Simple. So let's go to the next question. Time to return to the rooftop. Very easy. It is very easy because the time to return to the rooftop is the time of flight of this ball. So this is the time of flight. It is going up, it is going down. This is the time. So it is 2u by g. So it will be 2u by g, that is 10. So it will be around, it will be 2.4. Okay. So this is the time to return to the rooftop. Time in which it is 15 meter below the rooftop. Okay. So the last bit is time in which it is 15 meter below the rooftop. Okay. So this is 15 meter. This hole is 40 and here it is the ball is here. So at what time it will be? So this question also I am going to use a smart approach. One approach is that you can calculate the total time of flight. Then you can tell that final initial velocity is 12. Then s equal to ut plus half t square, and you can solve the quadratic equation, and then you can get two values of t, and one will be negative. You have to cancel that. So that is a lengthy procedure that you can follow. Okay, like this whole thing you have to break it into parts. Means like this ball is first going up and then going down, this one part, and from here to 15 meter this is another part. So this is the way you can solve the question. But if you solve the question in a smart way, then that will be good. So we have to use the sign convention again. So this is 12. I have taken the roof level as 0 because it will be very easy to solve the question if I take the roof as the origin. Okay. So the initial, so upper direction is positive, downward direction is negative. So if the initial velocity is 12, so I will write s equal to ut plus half t square. So s is minus 15 because finally the ball is 15 meter below the origin. Okay, similar to the previous question. So minus 15 equal to ut. So it will be 12 positive because it is the upward direction ut minus half gt square because g is in the downward direction, that is negative half gt square minus 15 equal to 12t minus 5t square. So 5t square minus 12t minus 15 equal to 0. Okay. So this is also a quadratic equation, and I have already explained minus b plus minus root over b square minus 4ac by 2. So this is the formula to solve this question. Okay, this equation. So please solve it, and you will get two answers. One will be negative, so just ignore that answer and take the positive answer. So with this we have discussed the free fall, motion under gravity. Now we are going to discuss about relative velocity. Here I am going to discuss a very little bit about relative velocity, and in the subsequent classes I will discuss a little more about relative velocity. We will just play with relative velocity, relative acceleration also we will discuss, and we will discuss how different amazing questions can be solved very easily by using relative velocity. Okay, the seemingly difficult question which will take you much time and much energy to solve, that you can solve very quickly using relative velocity, because this relative is a very means a tool to solve the question easily. Okay, we will do questions where two balls are thrown simultaneously, one from upward, one from downward. Okay, and we will also discuss the graphs of various bodies and how the relative velocity we will see in the graphs. So this all we are going to discuss in the subsequent classes. In 2-3 class we will wind up this chapter. So let's move to the next. Okay, so it is relative velocity. So you must have heard the classical story that a person is sitting in a train, and for the person standing on the station, that person is moving in the train, that person is moving with some velocity, and for the person inside the train, it will seem that the person standing on the station is moving with a velocity, is moving means in the backward direction to the direction of the train. So for a person sitting in the train, the scenario will be different. It will see that that the person will see that the trees are moving in the means backward direction. That person will see that the tree is moving in the backward direction. But for a person standing on the ground, it will see that the tree is uh, stationary, but the train is moving in the forward direction. So this is the whole concept of relative velocity, that with respect to you, means if I am driving a car, and with respect to me, as I'm sitting in the car, with respect to me, I will see everything. Okay, means I don't know that I am moving, means if with respect to someone else, leave it, but I don't know. For me, for if you are sitting in a train, or you are sitting in a car, or you are sitting anywhere on the ground, anywhere, so for you, you are still. Okay, you are stationary. For you, you are stationary, you are not moving, you are just sitting. And with respect to you, you will see the surrounding, that if they're moving or not. Okay, so you will think that I am still, and what is happening to my surrounding. So that is the whole concept of relative velocity, that you will think that you are stationary, but everything around you is moving. Okay, so for you, what will be the velocity of another vehicle? What will be the velocity of one thing, another? So we will take the means our standard frame as our ground frame. Okay, there is nothing like standard frame, but most of the time we see everything in terms of the ground frame. So we will calculate the relative velocity, means with respect to me, what is happening. Okay, that is relative velocity. So the velocity of body B relative to A. So this is the only thing you have to remember. Then it is over. Means this subtopic is over. Only thing is velocity velocity of body B relative to A. Okay. What is the velocity of body B relative to A? Means I am sitting on A. Okay. I am someone sitting on a body A. I am thinking that I am stationary. I am the source. I am seeing everything. So relative to me, with what velocity B is moving. Okay, I am sitting on A. With respect to me, what is the velocity of B? That is the meaning of velocity of B relative to A. And that is simply equal to VB minus VA. B relative to A is VB minus VA. Since we are calculating the velocity of B. Just remember like that. We are thinking about the velocity of B. So first we have to write B. So VB minus VA. So this is the way of remembering. Okay. So this is the whole thing we have to remember. Okay. This is the only thing you have to remember to solve the questions. Okay. Then over. Nothing is there. So we will solve a question now. And one thing is that if some value is written in kilometer per hour, okay, so to cover it to convert it into meter per second, you have to multiply by 5 by 18. Okay, from kilometer per hour to meter per second, you have to multiply by 5 by 18. And for vice versa, for this you have to multiply by 18 by 5. Okay, from kilometer to hour to meter per second is 5. We have to multiply by 5 by 18, and vice versa 18 by 5. Okay, so this is the only thing. So let's move to our question. So train A moves north with speed of 54 km per hour, and train B moves south with speed of 90 km per hour. So first of all, convert it into meter per second. Okay, so 54 km per hour. So first is 54 km per hour. Immediately I will convert it to meter per second. So I will multiply by 5 by 18. So it will be 15 meter per second. Okay. Okay. So another value we have given 90 km per hour. So 90 km per hour into 5 by 18, it will be 25 meter per second. Okay. First thing I did. So train A moves with speed of 54 km per hour and moves north with 54 km. So this is north, this is south. How you have to approach this question? I am not going to write everything. I will just diagrammatically show you the situation. So train A is moving with speed. This speed it is moving north. So this is the way train A is moving. It is moving in the north direction. Sorry, I will write it here. Okay, 15 meter per second. And train B is moving with 90 kilometer per, that is 25 meter per second in south direction. So train B is moving in south direction with 25 meter per second. Okay. So this is the scenario. This is train A, right? A, this is B. The train A is moving with 15 meter per second in the northward direction, and train B is moving 25 meter per second in the southward direction. So what we have to find? We have to find velocity of B with respect to A. First bit is velocity B with respect to A. So whenever I write velocity, you have to mention the sign convention. Never write means like you do in mathematics like 25 minus 15 like this. Not. You have to write the direction. You have to first specify the direction. If north is positive or south is positive, you have to tell that. Then only you solve the question. Otherwise, you will get wrong values. Even the magnitude also will be wrong if you put wrong sign convention. So velocity of B with respect to A, first bit. Second bit is velocity of ground with respect to B. Okay. So please pause the video and solve this question. Okay. So the answer to the question is, so first we have to find velocity of B with respect to A. So B with respect to A means VB minus VA. So I will take the upward, the towards this direction, means upward means towards the north direction as positive, and downward direction as negative. Okay, this is my sign convention. So what is VB? VB is in the downward direction. Okay, if you see the diagram, it is moving downward. You can just rewind and see the diagram. So it is B is in the downward direction with 25 meter per second. So the VB will be minus 25. Okay, this is the thing you have to see. This minus 25. It is not just 25 because I have taken the downward direction as negative. Okay, VB minus VA. Minus VA is just simply 15 because it is in the upward direction. 15. So what will be the value? It will be minus 40 meter per second. That means 40 meter per second south. It's in this direction. 40 meter per second in this direction. Obviously, this is correct because what with respect to A, what will be the velocity of B? Here is A is moving like this, B is moving like this. So obviously for A, B will move in this direction, in downward direction. Okay, so this is we are got it mathematically. Also, we can intuitively know it. Obviously, B will come here with some more velocity because I am approaching towards B. So for me, B will have a more velocity and it will be coming towards me. Okay, that is the whole scenario. If you see it like this, means relate it to the physical situations, then the physics will be very interesting for you. Okay, so what is the velocity of ground with respect to B? Velocity of ground with respect to B. So what B is doing? B is moving 25 meter per second in the downward direction, in the south direction. Here is ground. Ground is having a velocity of 0. So velocity of ground with respect to B. So it will be 0. The velocity of B, that is B ground minus B. So it will be 0 minus, see, velocity of B is negative. Downward direction is negative. The south direction is negative. So it will be minus 25. So it will be 25 meter per second. That is towards north. So this will be the direction. Obviously for B, for someone sitting on this here, it will see that the ground is approaching towards it with the same velocity. Obviously you must have experienced it when traveling a train. You will feel that someone is, when you are going towards him, then you will think that that person is coming towards you with the same speed. If that person is stationary, you will feel that that person is coming towards you with the same speed. This is the whole thing that we have calculated mathematically. Okay, it's very simple. So this was it for this class, and we will discuss more concepts in the next class, and we will wind up this chapter. Till then, bye.